everyone and welcome back to Shri FC. I hope you all are well and you're good. I'm so happy to be back with the Chelsea Talks again. It's a show I always wait for and the transfer roundup. It's time for a Chelsea Talks today, discussing on Nicolas Jackson joining Chelsea. Mateo Kovacic is going to Manchester City, very close. Mason Mount, 50 million Manchester United final offer. Onana, Chelsea, the deal looks like it could be off. Gabriel Veiga, that's another one Chelsea are looking as a future Mount replacement. Kai Havertz to Arsenal, really closing in. And Moses Caicedo to Chelsea for around 75-80 million and might even involve Conor Gallagher as well. So these are some massive news and a lot more. So before I start, I don't want to repeat, it looks bad, but do hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It will mean a lot to me and please support the channel. And now it's time to start with the news. So do put your comments and your opinion in the chat, and it's very good to chat about that as well. So starting off with the first big news that's come out, that is Chelsea will bid 29.9 million next week to match Jackson's release clause. Jackson only wants Chelsea despite receiving 3 more bids. This is by the ever-reliable Fabrizio Romano. So people, now there's no revelation to what 3 bids are, which those clubs are, but it's very clear that Chelsea are on the verge of signing him, and he is a very good young talent. Now, many people are a bit worried that Chelsea are signing so many young talent and how we're going to score goals next season, how we're going to proceed next season. Is he not the next David Fofana who looks very raw right now? See, I will say to all people just one thing. He is a very young player, but at the moment he's more developed than David Fofana. David Fofana is also a good young player, but the guy needs a lot of development, so he will most likely go on loan. And it could be, sadly, either Broha might be going to Brighton or Broha and Jackson might be the Chelsea attack next season. Especially people, we need to remember that Broha is coming after massive ACL injury, so it will take him time to settle, and Jackson might be starting the first game of the season. As much as I've watched MC, I'm going to be very honest in this video. I will never ever lie on this channel. I'm not going to come and say, I have watched Jackson, he's the best in the world and all that stuff. No, I've not watched a lot of him, and I've watched comms, and everybody knows that comms are not a determination of what player is and what he can be. But one thing that I can say about this player and the attribute he's got is Jackson overall has very, very good technical ability. He makes a lot of movements behind the box, which is good to see. He can hit from his left foot, he can hit from his right foot, and he's a very, very good clinical finisher. This is one thing we lack with Kai Havertz. And big up to Bhargav in the chat, Arsenal fan. If you sign players so young like this, why not keep him on loan overseas? But right now, Bhargav, in the striker department, we don't even have anyone. Chelsea aren't signing Harry Kane. We aren't trying to sign Diallo, which is going to cost a lot of money, and it looks like Bayern are interested in him. I think he's going to be a starter next season, Bhargav bro. With Broha coming back after an ACL, we don't even have a proper striker. I think Bhargav, this is a person we're going to start next season. And he's a very clinical finisher, but he needs a lot of development. But one thing, Bhargav, I fully agree with you, and you're absolutely spot on, is these are very young players, and the fans need to have a lot of patience. But the reports coming out, Bhargav bro, which I will discuss later in the video, is he doesn't want to come back at Chelsea. He is annoyed that Chelsea are rejecting Inter's offer. And Bhargav bro, for a player that comes on and in interview and says, I want to join Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, I want to stay at Inter, I think it's going to be very difficult, bro, to see him play at Chelsea. I will love to see Pochettino develop him and make him something, but that attitude of him is a massive problem, bro. You might have a player with low attitude but full work rate, but I will never have a player in my team with great ability but attitude to not even succeed. And that's where Romelu Lukaku is right now. If he can sort out his attitude, I fully agree, bro. But if he can't sort that attitude out of his, I don't want him anywhere near this lineup and the young guys, because he could be a massively bad influence. And Manchester City, bro, big up, bro. See you in November. Oh my God, that's going to be interesting. But I'm going to say one thing. I'm really going to say just one thing to you. That is Pochettino has a good record against Manchester City. So we'll see you on November 11. Hopefully we are a much better team than last season. And English media caused that more so than decided to. Yeah, I do understand that. English media, we all know Bhargav bro, they are just off the limits. But Bhargav bro, for a player to be begging on going at Inter Milan and again teasing that I want to go back is not a very, very good look. Like the reports are coming out that he does want to stay at Inter Milan. My guy is forgetting that he has 300k wages on his neck that is being paid by Chelsea. We are the club that paid 100 million pounds for him. There's a bit of loyalty there, Bhargav bro. He has to be loyal to the club. This is a massive problem with Lukaku, and this has been at every club, whether Manchester United, whether it was even before that. He has been attitude problem for a very, very long time. They killed him because of an interview that wasn't that bad. But Baga, bro, like being very honest, I do understand your point. But bro, like just an example. Let's say there's an Arsenal player that comes out and say, I want to go back to Inter Milan. I want to go to Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. I'm not happy with the what coach is trying to do. I think, bro, that doesn't look really good. That's against your own coach. He come in an interview and said, I don't like Thomas Tuchel play of style. That is not a thing you say. Aubameyang, if let's say what Aubameyang happened with Arteta, it was a right decision. You cannot come out and question the coach like that. That is embarrassing. For you to come and question a Champions League winning coach saying he has to change the system for me, that is embarrassing. And Bhaga, bro, this was the same player that came up in the earlier in the season and said, play me anywhere you want. Play me any formation you want. I will score goals for Chelsea. It's my homecoming. I'm going to prove fans wrong. Everybody will love me to go there and say, I don't agree with the manager's tactical style. I'm not happy. I want to go back to Inter Milan. I want to go to Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. When you have been employed by a team that's paid 100 million for you, 100 million plus 325k wages, that is massive, and fully agree with this one. Club is bigger than player, and to come and say things like that is just an embarrassment for a player of his caliber, especially how much Chelsea fans loved him. I think Chelsea fans remember the goal he scored against Arsenal and the cheers he got from the fans. He let everyone down. And again, I will say I don't really know what's going to happen with the situation. Pochettino might just convince him. But right now, I think we've got a young striker who has got very, very good technical attributes. And if not this year, then in 2 years' time, we've got a massive striker on our hands. And this is some good thing to see. Finally, Chelsea are signing scouted players, not the big name in the market like we used to do. So that is a good thing. And on my final point on this news is I will say, request Chelsea fans to have some needed patience with this guy. He's a good young lad, but if you're going to put pressure on him, if you're going to ask him to score 10, 15 a season, you're already putting a young guy in so much pressure that he will already start failing at the club. I think our fans need a reality check. We aren't going to straight away bounce back to the top 2, top 3 in the league. That's not going to happen. Arsenal right now are a better team than us. Manchester United right now are a better team than us. Newcastle in the 11 that they have got a better team than us. You go towards Manchester City, they are way better than us, not even a comparison. And I think Liverpool right now are a better team than us. And I think our fans need to understand that our expectations need to be realistic. We cannot go on putting pressure on these young guys when we have got a squad which is not really good. Lukaku is an updated version of Higuain, performance 0% by added to 100. Fully agree with that one. Fully agreed. That's the thing. You brought 2 strikers over Lukaku and both of them got eliminated. Fully agree with that one, bro, Bhaga, bro. And that is a problem. Our striking department and scouting has been horrific, Bhaga, bro. Like, the scouting we have done for our strikers has been embarrassing. And the people that have been signing these players need massive caution. Because, Bhaga, bro, we used to be a club that used to sign players on the name of it, like biggest thing in the market. We tried to sign Haaland. Our main priority was Haaland, but because they were asking for 150 million, we straight away went to Lukaku for 100 million. These are the mistakes we keep on making. Aubameyang, first of all, was a mistake, but also he was signed specifically for Thomas Tuchel's system, and then you sack Thomas Tuchel within 6 days. It just doesn't make sense. And Baga, bro, this, like you put the chat, this absolutely sums up why Chelsea finished 12th last season and why we haven't won a league title for now 7 years now. And that shows why, because we are not a well-run club. But now it's time to be a well-run club and sign players who are going to benefit us in the future. And yeah, the youth project now, they fully agree with that one, mate. And that is the new way Chelsea are going. And I think we're taking a bit of leaf out of Arsenal, but we are spending way more than that. I think we have understood that we cannot straight away win. We have also got an ownership, which, let's be honest, is not a Roman Abramovich ownership. They're not going to pump big money in. So I think we are a much more self-sustaining club. And if our fans can embrace that, I think it will be very, very good for us. If Lukaku stays with us, we invest in the dressing room. That's my concern. That is my biggest concern. I want Pochettino to have a good chat with him and only keep him if he's ready to stay here. I don't want him to go to Mediuke complaining, oh, Mediuke, the coach doesn't play me. Oh, Mediuke, talk to me properly. I don't want these things to happen. I want either him to be fully happy or just get away from here. That's what I want here right now. And now going on to the next news, same. Jackson will sign the Chelsea contract after his duties with Senegal. Chelsea are still very attentive, as I said, to players like Vlahovic. But the thing with Vlahovic is, people, he is suffering with a groin injury. Do we want to take a risk on an injured player? That's a concern for me. Vlahovic is my dream, a very, very good striker. I saw him in the Fiorentina days, and that is a striker I really want to see in a team. Good hold-up play, good pace, good finisher, can head the ball, really, really good left foot. And I will love to Chelsea sign Vlahovic. But the problem is, He's suffering a groin injury. I don't want Chelsea to sign another injury-prone player. That is the only concern I've got. And if Bayern Munich are interested in Vlahovic, then I think he'll choose Bayern over us right now with no Champions League football. He will choose Bayern any day of the week over us. Our ownership is the ambitious version of FSG. Fully agreed. That is the point I've been making for a long time. Very, very good point, Blue Stand. Very, very good point. Our ownership is ambitious, but they're trying to follow the FSG process. And I'm going to guarantee on this stream, in 4 or 5 years, Chelsea will have a stadium, and John Cena might have his WrestleMania retirement match here, because Chelsea will try to do what Tottenham are doing, make their stadium into commercials. And listen, people, Clear Lake Capital is an investing company. They've only brought Chelsea to earn profits in the future, but they are a bit more ambitious than FSG. Right now, they're only spending money to get you can say, a structure in the team, and then they'll stop spending. Depends on how bad the groin injury is. ESR lost this whole year getting groin injury. Fully agree with that one, mate. And that is a concern. If his groin injury is really concerning, then I think we should not sign him, especially when he can cost 50 to 60 million, while there are so many good alternatives in the market. Or you can even wait for a year and then sign him. Because I think, bro, you don't want to sign a player that's injured and then he never plays for you at a full potential. That is a disaster making to happen. And Nicolas Jackson will sign a 6 or 7 year contract with Chelsea. So the long-term contract at Chelsea continues. And that only shows that Chelsea are trying to build a youth project here. And this is a very, very long contract. And this is by Mate Morito. So this is the news regarding Nicolas Jackson, the contract length, and how much time he could stay. And now, this is a massive news. Chelsea have inquired about Harry Kane, but Levy dealing with Chelsea says it's impossible. This is by Laurie Whitwell, who is a reliable source, and Athletic as well, who are reliable. So I think we all know that everyone's dream is Harry Kane. There's every team in the league who will have Harry Kane any day over any striker. United, Gabriel Jesus is so good, but Harry Kane is still ahead of him, way ahead of him right now. You go towards Manchester City, that's the only team where you can even still play Kane behind Haaland. Every team in the league will take Kane. But we all know, since the Luka Modric situation, Willian situation, Chelsea and Tottenham hate each other, not just the fans, but the board as well. So I don't know about the new board, but Daniel Levy will never try to sell to Chelsea when it will make him an enemy in the front of the fans. And I think Harry Kane also might not come to Chelsea in regards to his Tottenham legacy. I think Harry Kane is waiting for an offer from Manchester United, and I think Daniel Levy will gladly accept the offer from Manchester United. I think Harry Kane is my dream, but I think it's one dream which is never going to be accomplished. Harry Kane is a legend, more than a legend for Tottenham, and I think he will never want to destroy his legacy. Levy won't want fans to be angry, and I think it's clear that Harry Kane most probably goes and joins Manchester United, and that's going to be the most likely one. But Harry Kane is a dream. I will love to see him at Chelsea because he's one of the best striker in the world, but I don't think that's happening. I really, really don't see a chance for him to join Chelsea, and it's written in the stars for him this season to join Manchester United under the Qatari ownership and being their first main signing for Manchester United. Coming on to the next one, Chelsea have inquired on Spanish talent Gabriel Veiga release clause, conditions, payment terms, or chances to negotiate with Celta Vigo. No bid or concrete step as of now. Liverpool did exactly the same earlier this week. He's one of the players Liverpool Football Club are following. So people being very honest with that. See, again, I've not seen a lot of these players, and I don't make judgment on the players from comms. I cannot tell up much about the player from comms. From comms, you can make anyone look like Lionel Messi. So that's not going to happen. But what I read about him from tactical sides and everything is he's a very, very press-resistant player. He's a good player in front of goal and can play a role of cam for us, especially you can say more like fighting with Nkunku. And I think he could be a very, very good player for us. And it's very, very likely that he's going to be the replacement for Mason Mount. And Nkunku is going to be the replacement for Havertz. And it looks like he's going to be the one Chelsea will try to target. Well, Liverpool are in for him as well. So that's going to be very, very interesting as well. And Mitrovic, Ramos, Muani, you're not linked to any of them. I think no, we're not linked to any of them. Muani, we were linked in January, but since then, mate, I've not seen any link. Ramos, we have not been linked with. And Mitrovic, we have not linked with. Mitrovic is a Chelsea fan as well, but we have not been linked with him. And I think he's a striker. I think for a cheap price, can do a very good job as temporary. But it looks like Chelsea are not trying to sign him. So I think on Gabriel Veiga, I've not watched much of him, but he's a very press-resistant player. He can really control a ball well. He will play a cam for us and can be a player that can replace Mount and can do that role. So this is around that news, and Chelsea will try to pay his release clause. But let's be honest, Liverpool are also very interested in him, and it's going to be interesting. Does he choose us or does he choose Liverpool? Because Liverpool right now, with the way they are going overall, Liverpool have more of a chance of winning European football next season than Chelsea. They already are playing Europa League, so that's going to be very, very interesting as well. Coming on to another news, this is regarding again Gabri Veiga and Chelsea have asking information. So I already discussed about this, and let's see what happens on this. This might gain a bit more, you can say, attention for the next 2-3 days. But other than that, I don't know much about this and much about the player. But I think it's good to see again Chelsea are going for scouted players, and we are really, really going to scout a player rather than going straight away for a player like Maddison who's available in the market. So that is a good sign that Chelsea are learning from their lessons. And now going on another one, please, people watching, it doesn't take much. Do hit the like button, please. It means a lot to me. And clearly, Capital, who are the Chelsea owners, majority owners of Chelsea, have an excellent relationship with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. PIF are driving many deals for Saudi's big club, and this is by Ben Jacobs. Now, we all know Ben Jacobs might get some news wrong, some news right, but in terms of Chelsea news, he's very, very reliable. And I think this has been clear with the way links are coming. We saw Todd Bowley on a Saudi visit 2-3 weeks back. We're also saying Saudi want a lot of our players. So I think it's making a lot of sense for this to come true. And big up, mate. So good to see you back. Big up, mate. And Chelsea should go hard for Lautaro Martinez in transfer market. Lautaro Martinez will be a much better option. I respectfully, for me, disagree. I think Lautaro is a very good player. But I think Vlahovic is a more like proper traditional striker we need, mate. I think we need a striker that can hold the ball. We need a striker that's got finishing instinct. Like you saw even in the final, mate. His finishing really lacks in the final stages. We saw in the World Cup. I don't want another player in my team who lacks that in front of goal. We are a team that only scored 38 goals last season. We have a young Madueke, young Mudryk, Sterling who doesn't score a lot. We have got Nkunku who is unproven in this league. We just don't have goals in a team. And at last, I don't want a player in my team who again can't guarantee goals. I at least want a player I can see and say, yeah, that's giving me 10 goals at least a season. And I think this is what we need right now. And now, as per this news, going on the next one. And what's happened with this one? Oh no, it's gone. I apologize for this. I'll take it in later. So our Manchester United are going to withdraw the deal. Is 70 million valuation correct by Chelsea to demand? On that news, people, I just want to say one thing. That Hakim Ziyech is the one who is interested to go to Saudi clubs. And I think this is where it's really working. I think Chelsea and Saudi have a good relationship. So Chelsea might try to sell a lot of players to them, which can help us in the future. And Hakim Ziyech is linked to sign for a Saudi club. So let's see what happens in that regards. Now going on to another news. This is regarding Manchester United and Mason Mount. A saga that's just not ending. From Mount to Liverpool, from Mount to Arsenal, to Mount to stay, to Mount to United. Now it's again looking like it's going to be the last offer United make. Are Manchester United going to withdraw from the deal? Is 70 million valuation correct by Chelsea to demand? This is by Disco Mirror, who is saying that Manchester United are preparing a final offer of £50 million for Mason Mount. Now about the source, I don't know it's reliable, but many United fans say it is somewhat reliable. And being very honest, United don't want to pay above 50. Chelsea are asking for 70, so there could be a lot of impasse in between. Now people will all know that a club always starts with a low deal, so this doesn't mean United will withdraw. But I think in no way in heck they're going to pay 70 million for Mason Mount, especially with a player who's out of contract with 1 year. I think many people are getting angry that Manchester United have paid 100 for Anthony. They should be able to pay this money. It's not about those things. Anthony was a player they signed who has some contract left. Mason Mount only has 1 year contract left. If Chelsea this summer are not able to sell him and he doesn't extend his contract, we might be seeing Mason Mount go for free. And when we have to sign players like Caicedo, who will cost 100 million, when we want to sign players like Veiga, Jackson, who can cost combined 60-70 million, I think we are trying to sign keepers, we're trying to sign midfielders, Lavia for 40 million. I think we need the transfer money, and I think Chelsea will agree at around 55-60. I think sadly, I love Mason, but again, if he doesn't want to stay, if the club and he are not agreeing, fair enough, thank you Mason, and we'll move on. And I think this will be agreed at around 55-60 million. I think I will rather keep Mount and Havertz. I think Mount can do a lot for his team under Pochettino system, but I think I cannot risk a player going for free, which really harms my club in the future. I love Mason, but I will always say Mason is no Eden Hazard, and even Eden Hazard left Chelsea and we're still successful. So I think it's about time. If he doesn't want to stay, good luck to him. and he can go to Manchester United. And Chelsea use that money to sign a player like Caicedo and many other players as well. So this is my opinion regarding Mason Mount and what's going on with him in Manchester United. Coming on to the next news, Gallagher and Caicedo swap plus the transfer fee. Spurs, Brighton, and West Ham are the three main contenders for Conor Gallagher. He could be used in the Caicedo deal. Brighton value Caicedo at a minimum 100 million. This is by very reliable Simon Jones. And this is the news I reported in my video as well yesterday, that they value him around Declan Rice and they think he could be better than Declan Rice. If Declan Rice in the market is for 100 million, they will be asking for 120 million, and that's what's going around right now. We also know Conor Gallagher and Colville really interest Brighton, and even Armando Broja really interest Brighton. So it's going to be a very interesting window. And we all know Gallagher has a lot of interest from Spurs, West Ham, even Newcastle. So it's going to be very interesting to see. For me, Chelsea need to be more stronger. We need to keep Levy Colville. Whatever happens, he's the next big thing, next young centre back, a very good left-footed centre back. And I think we need to do everything we can to keep Levy Colville in this team. And we need to be clear with Brighton that we aren't selling you Colville. We were finished for Cucurella. We were finished for the coaching staff. It's time for Chelsea to not be finished in the transfer market. We won't be selling Colville. End of it. For Caicedo, I think if they really want Gallagher, the board need to be clear that we value Gallagher at 40 million. So we'll pay around 45 Caicedo plus Gallagher. We don't need to go there and pay 70 million plus Gallagher, because then we're idiots. We need to be a good negotiating team. Gallagher is a player in British market will demand 40-45 million. To pay 80 for Caicedo and Gallagher is going to be idiotic. Overall, on Conor Gallagher, see, I really like Conor Gallagher. He's got a good heart. He really loves the club, and I really like him overall. And I think there's a good player in him. But I think he's got a bit of technical flaws, and those are the things which need a lot of time to improve. So I think if Pochettino really wants to improve him, I'll give him the time and I want him to stay. But I think if you're getting 45 million, and I think for a player who might not even start, I think it's better for players' career to go elsewhere, and it's better for Chelsea to use that 45 million on either a Caicedo, a goalkeeper, or a striker. And I think overall, Caicedo looks like the most likely player coming to Chelsea. And I think this deal is very close to happen. It depends on Arsenal Rice. And I think we need to be very quick in signing Caicedo, because there's a big chance that Manchester United, after the takeover, might try to hijack the deal. So the board need to be very quick, but also don't be finished by Brighton again. Coming on to the next one, embarrassing player if true, but time to show who is the boss. This is regarding Romelu Lukaku, as I discussed earlier in the video. Romelu Lukaku is annoyed that Chelsea aren't sanctioning another deal to Inter Milan. This is by reliable Matt Law. And again, people, we have been telling everyone, I've been saying to everyone that Romelu Lukaku is one of the most annoying player you will see. He has got the ability, I will never deny. I will also say he can always do a good job, but the way he's acting right now is an embarrassment to see. The way he acted 1 year back under Thomas Tuchel, the way he behaved was one of the biggest embarrassment we'll see from a player, from a club that paid 100 million for you, that pay you 300k of wages, and you're coming in interview and insulting the club. That was a very sight to see. And I think fully agreed with this one. Tell Lukaku to pay the transfer fee. Fully agree with this one. You're really annoyed at this situation, Romelu Lukaku. But remember, we are the one who are paying you wages. We are the one who paid you transfer fee. And I think Chelsea need to be strong. Chelsea need to be very strong. We shouldn't be caring about Lukaku's annoyance. Like, you took 100 million from us for Lukaku. We aren't giving you for loan again. You want him? Pay at least 30 million. I think the board need to bring Lukaku back to Cobham, make him have a chance with Pochettino, and if it's decided for him to leave, then we will only take a transfer fee. Otherwise, we'll find some other club for you. And I think Chelsea need to be very clear with this, because that's the only way we are going to strive forward. Now going on to the next news, and that is regarding Mateo Kovacic leaving. Matter of time for Mateo to Manchester City. Personal terms are done. Still discussing on final details. This is by Fabrizio Romano. So again, around Mateo Kovacic, we all know he is going to leave the club this window. He is going to Manchester City around 30-40 million. So I think that's done. Everybody on this channel knows I do like Kovacic and I respect him, and I will always have good wishes for him. But I think overall, with the way he has played 6 months, the attitude and everything, I think it's good for both parties. He goes on to Manchester City, one of the best team in the world, and let's see what he can do. And Chelsea go on, get a younger player and move on. I think overall, this is a good deal for both parties involved. Manchester City can use Kovacic as a backup. He can replace not Gundogan fully, but can be option they need sometimes to keep the possession, carry the ball. And I think for Chelsea, we already are bringing Caicedo. We can use Kovacic money to bring a Lavia. And I think we'll have a young midfield of Caicedo, Lavia. We'll have a player like Enzo, Chukwemeka, and Santos, Casadei. And a future in the midfield market will be set for the future. So I think that's my opinion regarding Kovacic. And I think overall I respect him on his Chelsea career. But I think with the way he played in the last 6 months and the way he has played overall since the World Cup, I think it's not a bad thing to let him leave the club, to be really, really honest. And Havertz is closing in on Arsenal move. Breaking: Chelsea have rejected an offer from Arsenal for Kai Havertz. This is by ever reliable Nathan Gissing. He's a very, very reliable source. And I think we have to understand that this is most probably a true news. He's a very, very good overall reliable source. He always gets Chelsea lineups, whatever it brings exclusive right. So I think Nathan Gissing has put this news that Chelsea have rejected an offer from Arsenal for Kai Havertz. And I think Arsenal's first offer was around 50 to 55 million, if I'm not really wrong. So I think that's been rejected. But it's rumored that Arsenal will go for another offer, 60 million. So that's going to be really, really interesting. Next news around this as well. Thomas Tuchel is driving a pursuit for Kai Havertz. He wants him as a striker for Bayern Munich. This is by Pletty goal. We all know Thomas Tuchel really like best Kai Havertz has played at Chelsea, and that's also rare. Is under Thomas Tuchel, and in Bundesliga has a number 9 behind attacking wingers. I think Havertz can do a good job. So it's no surprise Thomas Tuchel is interested. But again, will Bayern pay 60 million for a player who has not really played well at Chelsea and has only like 1.5 to 2 years left on his contract? So I think that's going to be very, very interesting as well. And I think Bayern Munich overall, I think are behind Arsenal in this race. Kai Havertz really is interested in Arsenal. Arsenal will pay us a transfer fee as well. So I think it's very, very likely that Thomas Tuchel might not get his man. But again, if there's any team I will love to him to go, that's Bayern, because I don't want him to go to direct rival. But again, for a club, you have to think about the future of the club. And if Arsenal pay us 60 million, Bayern want to pay us 40 million, we have to accept Arsenal. Going on, another news regarding Havertz, and that is again, Arsenal are willing to match his wages of 250k for the player to join them. For which striker should we go? Big up right with me. For which striker should we go? I think we should be going for Vlahovic, but he has got a groin injury, so that is a concern. For me, mate, to be really, really honest, I will either go for a player like Mitrovic for a short-term solution if we are selling Broha to Brighton. Otherwise, I won't sign a striker. It makes no sense to sign a striker if you keep Broha and keep Jackson. I think, to be honest, Chelsea need to first of all get up 2 midfielders. That's Caicedo and Lavia. We need to go with, at least for me, a goalkeeper. I think Kepa is number 1. I love Kepa, I respect Kepa, but he's not good enough for a top 4 team. And I think that's the priority that Chelsea have to go with. But overall, if I really want a striker, I think Vlahovic is a realistic striker, but his groin injury, is a bit of concern, and hopefully it's not serious. So Arsenal are going to match Chelsea's wages for Kai Havertz, and I think it could help us clear a big player on the wages as well. But it really surprises me why are Arsenal paying such massive wages, and for a player that's not really played well in the Premier League for the last 3 years, why will Arsenal try to change the atmosphere in the dressing room when this guy at the moment doesn't deserve to be higher than Odegaard's, higher than Martinelli's, higher than your players like Gabriel Jesus? So this is going to be interesting. I think with Onana, the news is made that we have withdrawn from the deal. So this is the problem. I think we have withdrawn from the Onana deal, and let's see what happens in that regards. But right now, as per the news, Chelsea have withdrawn from signing Onana. Going on to the next one, Chelsea wanted to keep Havertz, but is keen on Arsenal. Could it be a mistake to let him go, or should we have kept him? This is a question that's in heart of many, many Chelsea fans, and many Chelsea fans, mate, are getting really, really frustrated with this. Some are very happy and really making videos, enjoying, having nice drinks, that he's going out to the club, while other people are really, really worried and thinking he could set the club back. So again, a lot of people are happy, a lot of people are disappointed. I really don't know which side to be on, to be honest. I really, really don't know which side to be on and which side from this to support. Because I will just say one thing, that I think there's a real talent in Kai Havertz. I cannot go on and say that Kai Havertz is not a good player. Kai Havertz will not do this. Kai Havertz will not do that. I think there's a good player. Like here, I do agree that I'm so happy Havertz is leaving. We dropped other race, yeah. With Onana, we've dropped other race. But I will say just one thing about Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, for me, in Arsenal team can play a lot of versatile roles, which could really help them. Like problem with Arsenal is they haven't got an Odegaard backup. Fabio Vieira has been a failure so far. Let's be honest, we cannot take away from that. Fabio Vieira has been a failure so far. He's a young kid, but he's been a failure so far. Enketia, for me, doesn't really cut it in terms of Gabriel Jesus. You go towards, there's no backup for Bukayo Saka. And if Arsenal really want to play Manchester City football, let's say a 3-2-4-1 formation, they really can't do it right now. Kai Havertz brings them a versatility. What Kai Havertz can do is sometimes he can play inside of Gabriel Jesus. Sometimes he can even play in the position of Bukayo Saka. Sometimes he can play in the position of Odegaard. And in some matches against teams from low blocks, Arsenal can play a 4-3-3 formation with Rice protecting the defense, Ben White being the defensive fullback, and then you have Kai Havertz, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus front five. So I think you could be a versatile player for them. So I really don't think there's a lot of risk for Arsenal, but I also don't think there's a lot of risk for Chelsea. Being very honest on Kai Havertz, I think he has been at Chelsea for 3 years and he has been inconsistent. It's not been a case of Mohamed Salah or a Kevin De Bruyne. Kai Havertz has been at Chelsea for 3 years and he has not once hit double figures. I can only remember his good matches on my fingers, the Champions League final, the 2 matches against Liverpool, the match against Newcastle, the match against Everton. That's 5 matches I can remember that he has been really good at. Real Madrid number 6. In his Chelsea career of 3 years, I can only count on fingers how many really great matches he has had. But those great matches have been big moments. The Champions League final, the match against Liverpool. So those have been really, really big moments. So again, I'm very divided on Havertz. I do think Kai Havertz is really talented. And I've been saying on this channel that this guy is a hidden gem that can be developed. And on one hand, I'm thinking, can Pochettino develop him? Should we keep him? Should we give him 1 year? But on the other hand, I'm thinking, if he fails, we might not even get 30 million for him next season. So this is a risk with me. And on final conclusion, I've reached for a player that's for Chelsea has not performed for 3.5 years, whose mentality is good, but not at the elite level. There's no harm in selling him for 60 million. He won us a Champions League. We tried a new thing. There are something in life which are not meant to be together. Havertz and Chelsea are the one. Havertz is a good young player. Chelsea is a good team, but both are not main match. And I think it's good for both of us that we part ways. And I think if we are getting 60 million, I think that's a very good deal. Take the 60 million, go and sign Moses Caicedo, take the money from Mason Mount, go and sign Onana, and take the money from Kovacic and go and sign Lavia, and our team is improved, and we don't have to worry about anything. This is the way for me they should be going. And on Arsenal, I think Arsenal also getting a good player. If it doesn't do well for them, he still has a resale value. He's a versatile player. He can play cam, right winger, striker, sometimes left winger. So I think for both parties, it's a good deal. For Arsenal, they have a better striker than Enketia. For Arsenal, they have a player that can play better than Fabio Vieira. For Chelsea, we get 60 million and we move on. I think it's a good deal for both clubs. And it's time for Chelsea to let Havertz go and use that money to get Moses Caicedo. And that is the thing Chelsea should be doing, in my humble opinion. And there's no way Havertz improve. He's been trying to improve for 3 seasons. I do think he can improve, but his mentality for me is not a top-notch, mate. Do you like Broga? I don't think Broga. I think he can. But my concern, mate, is that ACL injury. We have seen Hudson-Odoi career going to absolute downward since that. We have seen Ruben Loftus-Cheek taking 2 years to recover. It's a very serious injury, and that is a massive concern. He might need a loan. I do understand that, but to be honest, how many strikers can we keep letting on go on loan? And Havertz is not Chelsea's standard striker. We should move on. I do agree with that one. And I think we will sign another striker like Lautaro or Vlahovic, and then Broha and David Fofana will get loaned. And then whoever performs will stay, and others will get sold. I think at the moment, I won't agree on this one because Lautaro is the one I don't think will sign, especially if you're linked to player like Jackson who will sign for us. And Vlahovic looks like he might go to Bayern, or because of the growing injury, he might not even move to anyone. So I think it's big chance we end up with Jackson and Broha as the strikers. And then we have Gabriel Veiga and Coco. That's the way I think Chelsea are going to go, mate, next season. And we might end up with Caicedo and Lavia. And Chelsea also should go for Martinez. He's not clinical striker. We need a player who can finish. Yeah, I do agree with that one as well. And now going on to the next news. But before I go, people, do hit the like button and please subscribe if you haven't. And Kepa, number one goalkeeper for Chelsea next season. Chelsea are out of the race for Andre Onana, and this is by a very reliable Italian source, Di Marzio. Di Marzio is a very, very reliable Italian source, and he gets every Italian news very, very spot on. And he has come with the news that Chelsea are out of the race to sign Andre Onana. Now we all know, we saw in the Champions League final, this guy is a gem of a goalkeeper. This guy is a fantastic goalkeeper, a player that we all will love. He's a very good goalkeeper and a better shot stopper than you can say Kepa Arrizabalaga, better at his feet, and he's a very, very good keeper. But on the other hand, he's going to cost 65 million, and it looks like Chelsea have withdrawn. Now, if we get good money for Mason Mount, we get good money for Kai Havertz, we get good money for Mateo Kovacic, I won't be surprised Chelsea again go and try to sign Onana. But right now, it does look like we're out of the race. And with Edouard Mendy rumored to be leaving the club as well, Kepa with the wages, nobody wants to sign him. It's very clear that Kepa Arrizabalaga might be Chelsea's number one next season. Now, that's not a disaster. I really respect Kepa and I think he's a good heart. But I think for a top level keeper, for a top four club, he's not good enough. And big up to Poetic Scale. People, do go to his channel, subscribe. Big up, mate, and thank you so much to join the chat. Pochettino is clearing the dead wood, but I wish he give rotational roles to Caicedo, Santos, and Chuku. Really agree with this one, mate. This is a very, very good point, mate. And I think he wants to give Caicedo a chance. Rumors are coming that Pochettino wants to see him in preseason. Santos has got his work permit approved. And also, Chukwuemeka for me is a fantastic player. And I think he has to play. I really, really feel he has to play. And it's time for Chukwuemeka to play. And it's time for a manager like Pochettino to develop this guy. And no worries if Onana is not coming. We just need a new ball playing shot stopper. Many keepers have that profile, like Valencia goalkeeper. Fully agree with that one. And I will like to see Emilio Martinez, but that's going to be expensive. For me, I'll rather at least keep Kepa for one season rather than not sorting the midfield. I think we need to sign Caicedo. We need to sign Lavia. And I think we need to do this business first. Kovacic is going, Kante is going, Mount is going, Gallagher is going. We don't even, Loftus-Cheek is going. We don't even have a midfield right now. And Jackson will be the second choice and Lautaro will be the first choice. I do understand that, but mate, my only concern is Lautaro doesn't guarantee goals. And that is a massive concern for me. I love Onana. He will fit in a team. His legs and his through balls. Yeah, I think Onana will be good, but it looks like he might not be coming. And big up to Wana Burst. Big up, mate. It's so good to see you, man. Thank you, everyone, for the support. And people, do hit the like and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It will really mean a lot to me. Now, going on to the next news. This is by, and big up to see Matara United in the chat. After so long, bro. It's so good to see you back, mate. So, big up to Matara United people. And really, really good to see. And do hit the like and subscribe, people. And now, this is another massive news coming out regarding Moses Caicedo. And this is by the ever reliable Fabrizio Romano. We all know the guy never gets anything wrong. And this is another massive news he has come. Caicedo personal terms are on final details. 90 to 95% done. This is by Fabrizio Romano. And we all know Moses Caicedo is the priority signing. And he's a very, very good one. And I think Moses Caicedo is a player I really want. This is not because of one good season. People are really right to question Moses Caicedo has only had one good season. Should we be spending 100 million on him? It's good. It's a good point. But I think the characteristics Caicedo has got is our team has been lacking. Since Nemanja Matic, we haven't had that player. I think the thing with Moses Caicedo, the really good thing is he can play a bit of Kante role for us. I think attackingly, offensively, he can be a better player than Kante. Defensively, Kante is a legend, but he can replicate that. Caicedo is a good tackler of the ball. He covers all around the pitch. He's a versatile player. He can play as a 6. He can play as an 8. He can play as a right back. He's a good passer of the ball. And I think Caicedo can be a really good partner to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, for me, should be a player who should be free. He should be coming back, playing the deep line playmaker role. He should be going forward, pinching the long balls. If people go and see my video, Enzo Fernandez, since he came to Chelsea, was pulling 7 long balls per game. This is by who scored 7 long balls per game. Enzo Fernandez is a fantastic passer of the ball, and he's one of the most creative players in the league. If we partner him with a player like Caicedo, who wins the tackle, defensive responsibility pressure it takes away from Enzo, and then we have Lavia behind the scenes, Santos, Caicedo, Chukwuemeka. That's a wonderful midfield. That's a wonderful midfield that complements each other. And I will love to have Caicedo, man. And my choice for the keepers, one new keeper, Kepa, second choice. Yeah. And I think Slonina needs to be really improved in the future. He's a good young guy, and we need to groom him for the future. Everyone like the stream. Thank you so much, mate. And do hit the like, people, and subscribe if you haven't. If Mount leaves, we should go for Madison to play the Ericsson role. I do agree with that one, but I think Gabriel Veiga is a player that really excites me. And I think Madison is still a player I'm really concerned of his attitude. Like at Leicester City, when they needed him, he really dropped off his shoulder. So that is a concern for me, mate. He's a fantastic player. At his best, he's a player I love to watch. But the attitude is a bit of concern for me, mate. And I think especially with Newcastle interested, I really don't see him taking our offer over Newcastle. And our Chelsea fans still confident believe the more you buy the players, the better you become. No, mate. I do agree with your point. I'm not the one who thinks we need to buy more. But mate, this window, we are selling Kovacic, we are selling Kante, we are selling Mount, we are selling Havertz, we are selling Loftus-Cheek, we are selling Ziyech, we are selling Pulisic, we are selling Lukaku, we are selling Koulibaly, we are selling Edward Mendy. There's 10 players we are selling. David Fofana on loan, Bruja might be going, Gallagher might be going, and Chelsea are literally going to get rid of 15 players. So we have to sign some players this window, mate. And I think overall, if you see, Chelsea are signing a very structured players. We are signing a lot of young players who can do a lot of benefit to us in the future. So I think as a club, we are doing much better now, mate. I think it's going to be a long-term process. The success won't come immediately, but I do see the idea what the club is trying to build. And that is a thing, mate, we have not seen at Chelsea for many, many years. And Enzo came in January and he's top 3 progressive passes per 90. And that is a very good stat. Thank you so much for sharing that, mate. And that is the stat I've been saying. Enzo Fernandez is one of the best in the league. For people that will call him a flop, he's one of the best signing. But you cannot blame a player when he has to play with Kovacic, who is not a natural DM. Loftus-Cheek has, to be really honest, Enzo and Loftus-Cheek have performed much better together than in comparison to Enzo Chukwuemeka, Enzo Kovacic, because that's not a proper midfield. Loftus-Cheek has played a DM role well, anchor role well, and thus help Enzo. Just think when you partner him with Caicedo. Fantastic. And now, going on another news. This is again regarding Caicedo. Sources feel the final price for Moses Caicedo will be around 80 million. Caicedo wants the move. Key stages now. This is by Fabrizio Romano on Instagram. And if we sell Colwill, then it's a big loss for us. And why we have sold Gilmer? Mate, it really saddens me to this day. Gilmer was a perfect player we needed right now. Gilmer and Enzo. And we might sign Caicedo. And we wouldn't need to sign Lavia. But we just never learn. But I think we'll make another mistake if we let Colwill go. Gilmer is still a player, I think, who is a good level. But I think Gilmer and Colwill is a more elite level. And I think if we let Colwill go, that would be a massive mistake. With having players like Baria Shele, Colwill, Fofana, Chalobah, we have a very good young centre-back group for the future. And if we let one of them go, I don't know how we are running the club. And I think as per this news as well, I do agree the deal will be agreed at this. But I think there could be a lot of add-ons to satisfy Brighton, or even it could be a player and some low price. So I think it's going to be very interesting with the price Chelsea pay. But I think we need to be careful. We don't need to be finished by Brighton. Brighton have made a fool of us in this window for a very long time. And it's big time for Chelsea to be stop being fooled by Brighton and be a bit more stronger club. And if you look back, there is Tomori that could be perfect when replacing Rudiger again, yeah. But I think Frank just never really, Frank gave a lot of chances to Mason, Ruiz, Gilmer, and I will always credit Frank for bringing this place through. But I think he just never liked Tomori, and I think that was a bit disappointment for him as well. I really liked Tomori, but Frank never preferred him. I was surprised because he loved him at Derby. I don't know what happened, but he just never preferred Tomori. Livramento when we were looking for Reece James backup, but Livramento right now is also suffering a massive injury. But I do agree with that one, and I think we have made massive mistakes. Like, these are the points That Poetic Scales is making really bad. People do go to his channel, subscribe. Very, very knowledgeable. And this is a very, very good chat. People, we need to really agree with this one and understand that Chelsea have own gems in the academy and will still pay foolish money to sign players from outside. We had Gilmer, Livramento, we have Colville. If now we sell Colville and we go and bring a 40 million centre back, time to pack the club. Because what are we doing? We signed players like Bakayoko, Drinkwater, when we had players like Loftus-Cheek, when we had the young guys. Chelsea have been a joke in this department that we have the gems in our academy, but still, we need to look outside. We don't love our people. We want to look outside. So I think this is the thing that Chelsea always mistaken. We have paid heavy price for that in Jamal Musiala, but it's time for Chelsea to really give some of these guys chances. You see, Lewis Hall, what a revelation this guy has been. Lewis Hall has been so good this whole season. What a revelation this guy has been. And I think it's time for Chelsea to back the academy. And I think this is a very good point. That's what happens when you have a lot of managers. But I think the thing is that when you can back it up with trophies, it can really like hide the cracks in the team. But when you can't do that, it's really going to be shown. When we were winning Premier Leagues, nobody thought why Jose is letting go of Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, because we're winning the league. But when a bad period came, why, man? Why Jose? So I think this is the thing we have been making a massive mistakes on, and that's a massive point. We have not replaced Fabregas, we have not replaced John Obi Mikel, we have not replaced Matic, we haven't even replaced Ramirez, we haven't replaced Diego Costa, we haven't replaced Hazard, we haven't replaced Mata, we have not replaced so many of the players. Kai Havertz we have replaced for Pedro. We have replaced Eden Hazard for Raheem Sterling. We have replaced Romelu Lukaku for Diego Costa. We just don't have no understanding. And it's time for the recruitment department, Stewart, Stanley, Vivel, to take charge and be allowed by the club to run the club properly now. And no approach of concrete negotiation for Lautaro so far. So again, with this news, Chelsea have not really made any concrete offer. But again, I will say just one thing. You never know in the transfer market. And Pochettino is a massive, massive fan of Lautaro Martinez. But I am a person that admires Lautaro Martinez, but I will not want him at Chelsea. I think we have a lot of players of that caliber. And Kuku is there, Raheem Sterling is there, Madueke is there, Mudryk is there. We need a killer in the box. At least a player that's good footballing wise and can score. And I think Vlahovic really ticks that boxes, or even a Mitrovic. And this is why I won't want Lautaro, but I do see why Pochettino likes him, and he's not as bad players as people have made it look like. And if properly managed, Cobham could become La Masia of England. Fully agreed. Fully agreed with this one. I think it doesn't mean give every youth player a chance, but there are a lot of people you can give chances and allow them to develop. And this is why I really wanted Pochettino. A lot of people were angry with me. He's a Spurs one. But this is why I wanted Pochettino, because Pochettino is the perfect manager to enhance Cobham. He is the perfect manager to get these young guys play at a level above them. And also Pochettino project doesn't work when we're a downfall. That worries me by. I do. This is a very good point made. But I think for this point, fans and the board need to come together. I think if we are 13, 14 in the league, that's unacceptable. Like Potter was sacked rightfully, you cannot be 12th in the league. But I think we need to temper our expectations. For fans that are expecting top 4, that is too much. I'm really sorry, that is too much. Have an expectation for top 4, but really being, we need top 4. No. We need to have expectation of top 7. We need to have expectation for top 7. And I think the board need to be patient with Pochettino. I think the minimum need to get Conference League. And I think that's the way we have to process. With only one game a week, I think we need to target a top 7 finish. And I think with so many changes in the club, we are not going to immediately click. The target has to be a 65 point to 75 point season, trying to win a Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and at least being in the top 7 in the league. That has to be the minimum expectation. If we are going with the Ponte season, we are going to win the league. We are going to be top 4. Then Pochettino can be in massive trouble. You were the only one person in Indian football community who wanted Poch from the very beginning, as far as I remember. Yeah, mate, I wanted Poch from the beginning. I've been wanting Poch since Sarri. I've been wanting Pochettino from Sarri, bro. I really wanted him. I think if we take the Spurs tag aside, I think with Pochettino, bro, what Pochettino brings is I've been really backing at my club for a very, very long time. I think the PSG reign has made people really not like him, but people forget Thomas Tuchel also failed at PSG. Every manager in the world fails there, and nobody in the world can manage an attack of Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. But if you see the CV of Pochettino, he went to Espanyol. They were a mid-table team. He made them into a top 10 team. He went to Southampton. When he took over, they were 13th. He finished 8th. Then he went to Spurs, who used to go away to Manchester City, spank 6-0, 5-0, 7-0, 4-0. And he went there. He got them top 5 first season. Then he signed players like Wanyama, and he made a very physical midfield. Eric Dyer, Moses Dembele, and Victor Wanyama. Then they had players like Dele Ali. Then they had players like Eriksen, Son, Kane. And then people forget he gave us a title race for the ages. It was a great title race. Tottenham that season beat Hull City 7-1, Leicester City 6-1, and they played some beautiful football. Son, Kane, they got 86 points. The next season, he again got them 70 points with no penny spent, not even a transfer spent, and then he got them to the Champions League final. He also got them to a Carabao Cup final. He also got them to a Carabao Cup semi-final. He also got to them the FA Cup final. But can you blame him when Lucas Moura misses a penalty, when Eric Dyer skies it over the bar? He is a top-class manager who knows how to develop young players. He has got the ability to take players of 20 years of age to a very high level. If we were Romans Chelsea, we had players of age of 30, age of 31, I would have said Pochettino might not be a good choice. But because we have so many young players, he is the choice, the best choice in the market, better than Nagelsmann, accustomed with the league, and a very top manager. I even said when we sacked Tuchel, very bad decision. But now go and get Pochettino. He's available for a free. But I really don't know what the board did. But now they are making the right decision. And now this season competition is much different. Yesterday I analyzed Brighton. That team gave me good vibes as football enthusiast. But as a Chelsea fan, that team frightened me. I fully agree with that one, mate. But mate, one thing I do want to say is just as a question to you, because they keep selling on players, is this project sustainable? Like, you cannot keep on selling players again and again. Caicedo has gone, McAllister has gone. You cannot keep succeeding. You cannot keep succeeding for me by selling all your players, and at some point is really, really going to catch up with you. So I think that is a bit of concern for me with them, and I think that's the thing they need to do better, in my humble opinion, because you cannot keep on selling players again and again. It's not going to help you in the long term, and I think this is one mistake I think they're really making. And what do you think about Vlahovic? But you're doing great. Thank you so much, bro. People do go to Sports Freak and subscribe. Some beautiful content. And I think, bro, he's a striker I want. But, bro, his groin injuries are concerned. His groin injuries are concerned. And I don't want now Chelsea to sign an injured player and for him to warm the benches. And now going on to the next news. This is regarding Kalidou Koulibaly. Kalidou Koulibaly's and Edouard Mendy's agent, Fali Ramadani, is expected to bring official proposals from Saudi clubs for both players. And I think overall, there's a very good link between Chelsea and Saudi clubs, PIF. And I think there's a massive chance, people, that we are sending a lot of players to Saudi, Edouard Mendy, Kalidou Koulibaly, Ziyech. But I don't see Edouard Mendy going. I think Edouard Mendy will want to stay in the competitive league. So I can see Edouard Mendy go to France. But I think Koulibaly might try for big wages in the end. And I think Ziyech might be going to Saudi as well. And Chelsea 2009-10 homes. Oh my God, bro. That was beautiful, man. I will never forget. I was a young kid, and that is the kid I used to love. Samsung, beautiful. And now that big 3. But 3 is a good number for you, the treble. But 3, and now most probably disastroustake.com. I won't speak much on that. I want to see more in that. But if that goes on and the reports that are coming out, it's a bit of shambles for Chelsea and Todd Boehly. And now, going on to the next news again and discussing a bit on the news that I think people who joined late were not here. And the news I discussed earlier was regarding Jackson. And Jackson is a fantastic young player I think we are signing. But as fans, we need to have a lot of patience with the guy. Again, I really will love to have Vlahovic, but his injury concerns are massive for me. With Gabriel Veiga, again, I've not seen much of the player, but again, I think it's a future mount replacement for us. So I think these are the news I earlier discussed on the video, and they have already replaced outgoing player Trossard and Kiso. Dahoud and Milner is there now. Yeah, I do agree with that one, bro. But I think Caicedo for me, bro, is going to be a massive loss, and it's going to be tough to repair. But if there's any club in the world that can repair it, that's Brighton. Scotland just beat Norway, insane. Thank you for the update, bro, and good and congrats to Scotland as well. And people in the chat, please guys do subscribe to the channel and please like the video. It means a lot. Just gonna end the video now. Thank you so much everyone joined. Big up to Baga bro. So much thank you bro to join. Manchester City fan. Thank you so much mate to join. The Blue Stand. Really thank you so much mate to join. Really thank you to S Man. Really thank you to support. Ride with me. I really want to thank Purty Scale as well. Wana Buzz, Matata United, Sports Freak. And people do go to the channel of Chaotic Scale, Sports Freak, and do subscribe to the channel. Great content. And thank everyone to support the channel. Like and subscribe. Your support means a lot. And thank everyone. Hope you have a great day. Thank you and wishing the best for you all. Thank you, everyone.